Welcome back to another Dynodaze video. As you can see, a lovely FN2 that we have seen before, but today Richard and Jensen have busily fitted a sports cat into the exhaust system, and now it's time to map it. So using the Ecutek software, let's get cracking. Honda Civic FN2 that we've seen before.
Yeah, we have seen this car before. I mean, this car's got a lot of mods on it. It's got RRC inlet manifold. It's got a standard throttle body. It's got a HKS filter, which is, we know, is not necessarily the best, but still an induction kit nonetheless. It has got a Jap speed 4:1, but I can't remember what exhaust it had on it, and we didn't make a note of it when it was here last time. And when we did the video, we actually went back and looked at the old video, and we said at the end of it,
had a Jap speed at that point.
Had a Jap speed exhaust, did it?
Last time we seen it.
Oh, okay, so it had the 2.5-inch Jap speed exhaust last time. We said it wanted a 3-inch exhaust,
which it now has.
Yeah, so it's changed owners' hands, and the 3-inch exhaust has been fitted. Now, we were tasked today with fitting a sports cat to that 3-inch system, which we've done, and then remapping, or obviously mapping for the sports cat, or just check it, make sure everything was okay. So we did an initial power on this car, and it was down to 210. Now, this car didn't make brilliant power considering the mods that it got.
It made 225.
It finished on 225, didn't it? Even with all the mods,
including the RDX injectors.
Yeah, including the RDX injectors, which it already had. So it wasn't doing very well, in my opinion, then. But we sort of said it was on a 2.5-inch exhaust, it needed a bigger exhaust.
And it had a HKS induction.
Yeah, so it's back now, and it's got the 3-inch exhaust on it, but it's still not making any amount of power. Now, admittedly, we have put a sports cat down. We have seen a drop, I think, believe we've seen a drop because of that sports cat, which is fine. I accept that, and that's fine. But I still feel this car's down on power from where it should be.
I agree. I agree. This car's making induction kit and catback exhaust power.
Yeah, at this point.
At this point in time.
Yeah, but even at 225, considering it had cams in it and everything else, I mean, like we said with yours, it made 230 with cams in it and the RDX, and it had the Tegus 70mm on it and things like that. So it still made more power. And then when we changed yours to the RRC, it unlocked like 10 brake. So it did make a big difference in that instance. But this has already got some of those mods on it. So yeah, it's a little bit weird. I mean, maybe further investigation, but we've sort of had this with FN2s.
It's important to remember that this car was booked in for the work that we've done, and we've done that work.
Yeah.
If time and money was no object, then we would further investigate why this car's
not but you're back to the same thing again, though. You're back to where you are with this. We've had a couple of FN2s that have refused to make power.
Yeah.
So we've tried to investigate what's going on, and we've never been able to get to the bottom of it. In other words, like you've checked, obviously you've checked the chain timing, you've checked this, you've checked that. So obviously you've not got the best exhaust there, so maybe put an exhaust on. You put an exhaust on, it gains a bit of power, but it still doesn't make what you think it should do. And then so on and so forth. And this is always the case where you say every car on its own merit. I'm not saying anything's wrong with this car. It just may not make the power, and that's the way this car is going to be.
But this, but again though, it's got drag cartel drop-in cams.
Yeah.
You know, it's got all of the mods that you would want. And even if you said, well, okay, I want to stick a CPL induction kit on it in exchange for the HKS one, at that point, this car should be up there at 240 brake horsepower on the law of averages.
Yeah, but maybe not necessarily with the sports cat in there.
Agreed.
But you're back to the same again when you're talking about flow. When people go for cams and everything else, they go for the big bore manifold as well.
Yeah.
So they go for the 2-inch collectors and 2-inch primary, and the 3-inch collector. That would make a massive difference, in my opinion, because it's all about flow, and you're only going down to the 2.5 that this manifold is. So your 3-inch exhaust may not necessarily be gaining because your first restriction is the manifold.
But again, we've seen cars without inlet manifolds, with a Tegua induction kit, a Jap speed manifold, and a Tegua 70 and a M2.
Yeah, admittedly,
2.5 inch make more power than this, and that's just unfair.
But again, it's on the stock throttle body, and it's on a HKS induction kit, which we know is not the best. So there still could be improvements made to see if you could unlock some of that power.
Yeah, but you think inherently there's a reason why it's not making power.
Yeah, exactly. And it could just be that's the characteristics of this engine, and that's it. Yeah, exactly.
What sort of miles are on this?
81 according to the what's it, so it's even low mileage as well, which is like, you know, that sort of makes you think even more, don't
but like you said, we have seen a car, an FN2 before that I can remember, that it continues to bolt better mods on and doesn't make the
increases that you expect it to make. Like I said, every car on its own merit. I've had many cars over the years, we've seen through these doors, that you get that odd one that refuses to make power, and you never really get to the bottom, and you think, well, it's got to be something obvious. So you go through the obvious checks and you never find anything wrong with it, and you put more mods on it and it doesn't really respond or do it, and it's just sometimes all engines, they're all different, and then you just get one that refuses to make power, and that's it.
And each car, like you always say, each car on its own merit, and that's all you can do. We're tasked with fitting a sports cat and mapping it accordingly, and that's what's happened. And when we look at this graph in a moment, which we will, it's unusual. This is the odd
occasion.
It's unusual.
It's an odd occasion where we've taken a step back in power.
That's right, but we have fitted a restriction there.
Yeah,
so
of
we
course,
expected it, didn't we?
We did expect it to lose power.
But it's just when we look at the graph, it's not really what we do here. So.
No, it's not, but this is where this car is, so we'll have a look. So,
but the rough with the smooth.
We take the rough with the smooth, and we report on everything. So the idea is this hasn't been the best result, but we are still going to show it. So
yeah, so
let's have a look at the graph.
Let's look at the graph.
So here we go. Red line is as she came in. Yes, I know. And blue line is as she leaves. And the difference is that it's had a 200 cell sports cat fitted. So there you go. The cat went into a 3-inch exhaust system, and that's where we're at. And besides the point that obviously we can see that we're down on power from where we are, we expected that somewhat, but still the car does not make the power that we expect, and we finish on 215 brake horsepower. So I hope you found this particular video interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for getting to the end of the video. Like and subscribe and all that jazz. This is a beautiful FN2. It really is. It looks mean. It's got some great parts on it. I think we'll see this car again. We'll see him on the next one, won't we, Jano?
Well, indeed.
We will indeed.
Before, and I'll say it again. Life was pretty fast.